I got my first taste of governmental affairs in 2008 when I began working with Governor Perdue in his executive counsel's office. That is his legal attorneys in-house. I worked there for 2.5 years. When Governor Perdue left office, I moved to the legislative reapportionment office, which is where you redraw the state house, state senate, and U.S. congressional maps. Once those maps were approved, every 10 years after a census is taken, it was time to move again, and I moved to the Georgia Chamber of Commerce, where I spent 7 years working in governmental affairs and in-house as the Georgia Chamber's attorney. Some of the legislation that I worked on at the time, we were able to successfully get over the finish line, was expedited permitting to streamline the regulatory process, establishing the International Arbitration Act, and most recently creating a statewide business court for complex commercial cases through a constitutional amendment. I've been engaged in government affairs for over a decade, and this will be my 14th session when you consider both general and special sessions. So government affairs touches almost every industry. If there is a real estate transaction where there's a zoning ordinance that needs to be changed, we can step in at the local level and have that interaction. If there's a tax credit that's needed, then we're able to interact with the legislature and attempt to pass that bill legislatively. We're also involved in the budgetary process and appropriations if there's a need for public financing. Government affairs works in several different ways, from a local perspective, from the state perspective, and from the federal perspective. And it works both in the legislative process and the regulatory or the agency process. We can ask that the government do something proactively, pass legislation or enact a new rule, or prohibit them or attempt to stop them from doing something that might be harmful to your business. SGR's government affairs team has the expertise and the knowledge to navigate those political obstacles, both from a legislative side and a regulatory side. Additionally, if we have clients who want to sell products to the government, like manufacturers, for example, we'd be willing to assist with that as well.